We need to talk about the realities of Donald Trump running for a third term, especially after the press conference he gave today. I want to talk about this, and I want to start by saying it is not fear-mongering, okay? I know that in a time like this, it can be very hard to decipher what is overblown and what is not, especially when we're in a time that is very serious, right? We're seeing this rising authoritarianism, this rising far-right movement in the United States. Our federal government looks very different than it did just 6 or 8 months ago. We're in a very serious moment right now. And I want to be clear when I talk about this that I'm not just doing it to bullshit. I think there is a serious chance that Donald Trump and his allies are going to try to prep him and be ready for the legal battles that come with a 2028 run. And so I want to walk through this and I want to play what Donald Trump said about it today. Also, if you're new to this channel, my name is Chris Maurer. It would mean a lot if you just went right down below and click subscribe. Like this video. It goes such a long way. I love each and every one of you. So you might have recently saw that Steve Bannon gave an interview where he claimed that there is, quote, a plan for Trump to run for a third term. This is from the New York Times. The claim comes after months of President Trump toying with the idea, insisting that he is, quote, not joking about defying a constitutionally mandated term limit. Now, let's play a clip from Steve Bannon from this interview. Take a look.
Use the word war a lot. If you really think there is a risk of civil war and the situation is as bad as you are saying, don't you have a responsibility as someone who sees this and who's a student of history and has seen what has happened in history to calm things down?
Not to calm things down at all, to warn people. Do you think if we calm things down, they're going to stop? What planet are you living on? This is my problem with this whole concept of liberal debate. We're in a revolutionary time, both technologically, geopolitically, right? Financially. We must go to the ramparts. Because if you're just passive and docile and just flick the channel and watch the National Football League and go to Taylor Swift concerts, it's over. This is the fourth turning. The strength of the populist nationalist MAGA movement in this country is we're anti-fragile. We're resilient. You can give us your best shot. You can put us in prison. You can take our credit cards away. You can debank us. You can deplatform us. You can have all the tech stuff that happen. We can't be beaten if we don't quit. And if that takes hot rhetoric, you ain't seen nothing yet, because we're now getting into the middle of this fight, and we're never gonna kowtow to these people. We're never gonna get on our knees to these people. We're never gonna apologize. We're never gonna say we're sorry. All we care about is victory begets victory begets victory, and we know that we're ascendant and they're in decline. We, as a populist nationalist movement, as a MAGA movement, we need to do like the redistricting fights. We need to get. This is why I was down in Texas. We need to get the House in a situation that is permanently defendable by the MAGA movement, right?
So I think you understand the idea here. That's very intense, very intense. And Steve Bannon is somebody who I often tell people when I have this conversation about the things that Steve Bannon has been saying, because he's kind of toyed with this idea similar to Trump, saying, oh, we're planning for Trump to run for a third term. And then we got this interview recently, and he just was very direct, saying, oh, he's going to run. He's going to be the president in 2028. And when I bring that up to people, they often say it's a distraction. It's fear-mongering. It's BS. Steve Bannon's just, saying whatever. But I disagree. Steve Bannon was the architect. I would argue one of, if not the reason we are in the situation we're in right now. He's one of the key players. This is a random Newsweek article I pulled up, but Steve Bannon's flood the zone strategy explained amid Trump policy blitz. This is the guy who coined the blitzkrieg flood the zone strategy. The whole reason that Donald Trump got in power was because he was able to just flood the zone with a sheer amount of lies, disinformation, and shit. So much so that the media couldn't keep up. The just general media apparatus, and that's a key pillar of democracy. And a lot of these lies that they were saying, because they were flooding the zone so hard and the media couldn't keep up with all the fact checking, it started getting through to the American public. And I would argue that that is how Trump has been successful. That is the main thing right there, the flood the zone strategy. Steve Bannon did it. He made it. He created it. And he gave it to Trump. And he executed on it. This is the reason that Trump won in 2016. The reason he was close to being able to steal an election, to overthrow an election he didn't win with evidence he didn't win it in 2020. So when Steve Bannon is saying we're preparing, we have plans to do this, I would take him seriously. I would. Because truly, I mean it when I say he might be the reason Trump won in 2016. I want to play this video from Harry Sisson. He's a friend of mine. You may have seen him recently because Trump posted an AI video defecating on him, which is incredibly strange to say. But I think he put this pretty well. So take a listen.
To hear me on this, you don't build a ballroom if you're planning on leaving. Anybody that really thinks that Donald Trump is going to willingly give up power in 2028 is not paying attention. There are three main facts right now that'll scare the crap out of you about Donald Trump's plans to stay in power, because it scares the crap out of me. Number one, Steve Bannon, senior advisor to Donald Trump from outside the White House, says they have a plan being worked on behind the scenes for him to run for a third term. It's very sophisticated. They're planning it out, they're funding it, and they're going to have it ready to go. This is coming from someone who knows Trump. Number two, the Trump administration is currently forming a National Guard response force that will be trained in crowd control and civil unrest, ready to deploy to all 50 states, coincidentally, by 2026. Now we're learning that the Trump admin is sending poll watchers to 2 blue states, no red states, for their elections in 2025 in New Jersey and California. And representatives in these states have called it highly inappropriate. Donald Trump.
The beginning of that video is so well said. You don't build a ballroom if you're planning on leaving. Now, again, this doesn't mean it's over. This doesn't mean we should all cower in the corner and, oh my God. It's the reality that we have to be prepared for. Because just like in 2020, there was a fight, a legal fight, with, Donald Trump flooding the judicial branch, trying every single way he could to poke his head through, cause as much chaos as possible, because Donald Trump thrives in chaos. In the aftermath of 2020, as he's still challenging the election, he's basically just trying to get in somewhere, trying to have some judge just listen a little bit, insert himself somewhere. When you can start the chaos, when there can just be a little, this state, Georgia, for example, here's the fraud. It's right here. A judge agrees. You've inserted yourself. You've created chaos. And now Donald Trump thrives in those situations. It's no different here, right? And so we just have to be prepared for that chaos, because if we fight in our institutions, we fight for our institutions, and we fight together as a country, we will make sure Donald Trump doesn't get a third term. Let's go now to Donald Trump talking about this on Air Force One, because, again, it's very interesting that I'm constantly told, don't fearmonger about this. Well, if you didn't want people to fearmonger about this, maybe the president shouldn't be selling merchandise that says Trump 2028 on it. Maybe he shouldn't be posing for it in the White House. Maybe he shouldn't be talking about it on Air Force One and saying, I could do that. Yeah, so it's actually on Donald Trump, the fact that we're all freaking out about this. I just want to be clear. Take a listen.
Steve Bannon said in a recent interview that there could be plans for you to be able to run and potentially win a third term in 2028. Is that something you'd be willing to challenge the court to be?
Well, I haven't really thought about it. We have some very good people, as you know, but I have the best poll numbers I've ever had. I mean, I just solved 8 wars and a 9th is coming. I believe Russia, Ukraine will happen. But we just did, we just left, and when you look at the treaty we just did, that was a war that was thousands of people were already shot at the border. And when you look at what we just did, was pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. We got a lot of good credit. And I really have to thank Malaysia for that, because they really, the Prime Minister and everybody really helped get the 2 countries together. But it was quite a great peace treaty. But that was one of 8. And makes me feel good. I mean, it's millions of people that we saved. I saved the lives of millions of people. That's what's important. Yeah.
Who are the very good people?
They are good people.
You said that for 2028, they're very good people.
Well, we have great people. Well, I don't have to get into that, but we have one of them standing right here. We have JD, obviously. The vice president is great. I think Marco's great. I think, I'm not sure if anybody would run against us. I think if they ever formed a group, it would be unstoppable. I really do. I believe that. I would love to do it. I have my best numbers ever. It's very terrible. I have my best numbers.
So first of all, no, he doesn't. He has worse numbers than he did in his first term, and his first term numbers were not good, very bad. But also, that's crazy. I mean, again, I'm pretty sick and tired of the narrative consistently being, why are Democrats or why are we talking about this, fear-mongering about this. This is ridiculous. It's like the constant narrative about Trump running for a third term is, oh, that's so crazy and unhinged. Don't talk about that. He's talking about it. The president of the goddamn United States is suggesting he could do it, and actually that people would love it. So please direct your anger and energy toward him. And finally, again, on how he could do it, he said this.
One theory on how you might try to serve a third term is that you could run as the vice president.
Yeah, I'd be allowed to do that.
Is it the White House or the White House counsels or your legal position?
No, you'd be allowed to do that, but I wouldn't do that. I think it's too cute. Yeah, I would rule that out because
it's too cute. I'd rule that out. Well, number one, I don't believe anything this guy says. He's cognitively declining. He's literally a cognitively declining narcissist. And every day he wakes up, the only thing he thinks is, can somebody stop me from what I'm about to do? If the answer is no, he's going to do it. But that first part, that's just not true. I mean, again, asserting there that he could run as vice president. They could, him and whoever, let's say J.D. Vance, when J.D. Vance steps down, Donald Trump becomes the president. Oh, yeah, I could do that. Yeah, I'm not gonna, but I could. No, you couldn't. Absolutely, very clearly, in my opinion, unconstitutional. The vice president needs to be prepared to become the president, which means he has to, meet the qualifications to become the president. And one of those things is that you can't serve more than 2 terms. So Donald Trump, legally, would not be allowed to assume the position of vice president because he doesn't meet the qualifications to become the president. This is crazy. It's insane. Let me know what you think of all this in the comments down below. I truly believe as long as we take it seriously and we are prepared, we can get through this entire time in American history. We just have to fight one day at a time. I'm proud of you. I appreciate you. I hope you have a great start to your week, and I'll see you in the next video.